Hey there, Katie. Hope you're doing well today. Hope your kids' art, I think you said there's like an art activity going on today. Hope that's going well. Hope you're able to make it there. It's snowing up here in Denver, so hope you're having an easy time on the roads. This is your video lesson for today. As usual, if you have any questions at the end of this thing, you are not bothering me, you feel free to shoot me back a video of you playing through something or ask me a question. Just kind of checking how the day is going. Next Thursday, you can stop in via at your usual lesson time and zoom on in, and we'll have some turkeys and some beers. All right, so first thing, there's three things I want to talk about today is left hand and then right hand, and then Who Will Stop Rain, the intro riff. We'll kind of slowly just kind of check all the boxes for that too, make sure we got all the parts of it down. Cool, so the first thing is left hand, the pyramid finger. So what we're working towards now that you're getting your chords, or your chords are sounding really nice. Your chord switches are getting smoother, and me being I have to feel like I'm challenging my students. I have to be preparing you for the next thing. And what we're going to start looking at over the next few months are going to be your bar chords. These guys right here. Now, I'd be a cruel man if I just threw this at you right now and said, hey, do bar chords, and like, why are you crying about it? So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do pyramid fingers, and that's gonna get your hands ready for the act of playing a bar chord. And we'll slowly ease into playing bar chords. We'll start with the partial bar, which means, oh, excuse me, let me back up. A bar chord is when you take your first finger, or any other finger for matter, but mostly with your first finger for what we're gonna do. And you just lay your first finger across the strings, and it's kind of acting like a little capo for your guitar. So now why we're in bar chords, if you've been happy doing these open chords down here, is that there's a fair amount of songs that you don't have access to yet because they might have a B minor chord in it, they might have an F chord in it, something like that, or like a C minor, that there are no open chord equivalents of, without you doing something drastic things with the guitar. So the first thing you're gonna do is a pyramid. And what I mean by that, you're gonna take your left hand and touch the tip of your thumb on the pad. And what you're gonna make, I call it the pyramid. I don't know if anybody else calls it this, that's what I call it. So you have your first finger like this, and notice how I have a little pyramid shape with my pointer finger, right? So I, like this, right? So you can actually see me. Here like this, right? And I'm gonna push in, and my knuckle is gonna pop up, right? Just like that right there. So normal, pyramid, normal, pyramid. So we don't want to, remember I'm always getting on you about playing on the tips of your fingers. This is in that case right here. We're actually going to do here, and we're going to go, bam, right there on the tip of the finger. Just like that. And that knuckle's going to be nice and high, because what it's going to look like is this. The further you get up the neck, the more pyramidy it kind of is. Basically, if I'm up here at the 12th fret, if you look at me doing this pyramid finger, my first finger tip joint's like hyperextended, right? Now down here, it's not as much, right? So there, it's like flat with like maybe like a tiny bit. Actually, I'd say that's pretty flat right there. And as you move up the neck, it becomes more and more hyperextended to the tip joint. So this week, work on getting that hyperextension, right this here, tip joint, here, tip joint. You can do this at your next meetings, the next meeting with the lawyers, or in court, and they might think you're crazy, and they might give you less work to do, therefore more time to practice your guitar. So I always suggest doing it in front of the people who don't know the references to what you're even doing. So work on that pyramid finger, like that right there. And 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, if it all looks good, what we'll do is we'll start kind of doing some exercises here and getting used to playing the bar chord shape. That way, when you do bar chords in a song, you've already learned the technique. All right, number two, if there's no questions about that, no question? Okay, I'll move on then. So number two is a right hand pattern that we're gonna start looking at. We're gonna start looking at some more bass strum kind of patterns. We did those a little bit ago, we're gonna bring them back again. What I want you to do is first just practice going bass, strum, just on open strings, right? When I do the bass, I'm hitting that 6th string right there. And when I hit this top strings, I try to aim for the top 3. If I get 4, it's not the end of the world. This is popular music. So if you hit an extra string in there, it's not the end of the world. So bass, strum, bass, strum. And the chord I want you to do this is with an E chord. I haven't done that in a while, so I wanted to bring it back because it'll be in the next couple of songs that we do. So I want you to start learning that once to get used to playing it again. So the E chord, it's like an E minor chord, except you're gonna put your first finger here on the 3rd string, 1st fret. So it looks like that right there. I've taken the liberty of drawing this here for you too, on the handout for today. So my guitar's a lot of tune, that's all right. Bass strum, bass strum. Right, and the reason why we're doing this pattern is the next song, I don't remember off the top of my head, there's a capo on the 1st fret of the next one that we're going to do. We're going to do a Johnny Cash tune, Folsom Prison Blues, and so he does that bass strum pattern in there. And it's pretty consistent throughout, so it'll be a little easier for you to play. So work on that for me. And then lastly, we're going to do the Who Will Stop the Rain, the intro riff. So for this one, I'll play it for you first and I'll break it down. I'm sorry, I'll stop kicking the table. The camera's shaking. So he plays that over the intro, over those strumming chords. I believe the strumming chords in the song are... Right. So what that is first thing is you get into a G chord, but this G chord's a little bit different. Let me show you how it looks. Middle finger, right? Put that up there on the 3rd fret, 6th string, okay? Take your ring finger and you're gonna put that right here on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So it's like a G chord, but like not. And so you got 2nd finger up here, right? 1st finger is down here on the 1st string, 3rd fret. So 3rd fret, 6th string, 1st string. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take your pick. You're gonna put it in your hand. You're going to direct the pick at your strings. Adjust this camera so you can see better. Point the pick at your strings, okay? You're going to pick the 6th string. Bring your pick down, 2nd string. Sorry, I got a white pick guard. I don't know if there's something colorful I can put behind there so you can see better. Hey, I'll do it over here so you can see maybe over top of this, the ash finish. So we have 6, 2, 3, 1. Those are the string numbers. While this is held down over here. You're going to do that twice. Right? All down picks. Don't try to be a hero and do alternate picking. That's not for this exercise. Do it twice. And the reason why I like this one for your ability level is that there's like a lot of space in between the pick patterns, so you have time to reset and get the whole thing started back over again. Remember? 6, 2, 3, 1. It's all tabbed out here too. 6, 2, 3, 1. After the 2nd time, you're gonna take your pointer finger here. You're gonna walk it down to the 2nd fret. You're just gonna hit it once. That's all you're gonna do. 6, 2, 3, 1. 6, 2, 3, 1. First finger grabs 2nd fret, you take it off. 6, 2, 3, 1. Same strings. Put that twice. And then you bring your 2nd finger back to the 3rd fret. Picking pattern again. 6, 2, 3, 1. 6, 2, 3, 1. And that's the whole thing right there. Right? It's nice. The reason why I like this is because there's a little bit of moving right here, and you're picking the same strings the entire time. 6, 2, 3, 1. 6, 2, 3, 1. Walk down. Whole thing up to speed. Right there. Right, so I want you to work on that for me. Like I said, this week just practice just getting the picking pattern down. I'm expecting it to take a couple weeks for you to get that picking pattern up to speed. So this week, just literally just practice just hitting those correct strings. Right, you might have to sit there and just go 6, 2, 3, 1, 6, 2, 3, 1, and just practice it that way before you put the left hand there if you're having trouble with it. So, and I'd like to see you play it. So if you want to send a video back of you going through it, I'm more than happy to check it out. So awesome. So happy Thanksgiving. If you want to zoom on in for Thanksgiving, I might or might not have a couple of mimosas, and I might or might not make sense. But you're welcome to zoom in anyway. All right, take care. I'll see you in 2 weeks.